The message is going to look a little different today because 8 of us will be sharing different parts of the sermon. Each of us will be talking about a different characteristics of God and Jesus, which are represented by the candles up front. Throughout our messages, you'll hear about the different ways that Jesus is part of our lives. Each candle will be lit throughout the series. As you listen, I invite you to listen for a characteristic of Christ that speaks to you, one that you may want to work on throughout the season of Lent. At the end of the sermon, we will invite each of you to come forward as you feel led to a candle of your own. We'll tell you more about this at the end of the message, but keep this in mind as we share.
Hello, my name is Sadie Conrad, and I'm an 8th grader at Chagrin Falls Middle School. My candle is the big white candle right there. It represents Jesus and how he is the light of the world. There are many reasons why Jesus could be described as the light of the world. John chapter 8, verse 12 says, "When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, 'I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life.'" Now I ask you to imagine that you are walking outside in the nighttime with no light and little way to see where you're going. I kindly ask you to raise your hand if you ever feel these emotions while while you are imagining what I am saying. Are you feeling scared? Excited? Anxious? Lonely? Are there any other feelings I'm missing? I know if I was out all alone, I would feel lonely and in need of someone to walk with me and comfort me. Imagine now, a light is shined through the darkness to help you see and find your way through the night. Jesus is both my friend and my light. Through all the ups and downs in my life, Jesus stayed with me through it all. Whether it was him helping me pass my math test, or even him sticking with me through this current injury where I hurt my ankle playing basketball. And no matter how big or small these things may be, Jesus was there through it all. So, what I want you to remember walking out of these doors today is that although times may be tough, Jesus is the light of the world and will help you through any troubles you have. Thank you.
My name is Lizzie Frank, and I'm a current 10th grader at Chagrin Falls High School. Today, I speak about the truth candle. When I was younger, my best friend was a unicorn named Deidre. She was purple, and her mane and tail were braided. My dad made a phone contact for her, and I was able to call her during certain times. When my dad told me she was not real and it was one of his friends on the phone, I was crushed. I cried all night and into the next day. That was maybe the worst lie anybody has ever told me. Basically, the moral of this sad story is lying hurts, and everybody does it. If it's a fib about your height or a little lie about why you're not showing up to work today, we all do it. Truth is defined as that which is true or in accordance with fact or reality. Now, why do we lie? What's the point? Maybe we do it so somebody can like us more, or so we can have a break, or so we don't get in trouble. But what happens when we get caught? Your parents won't trust you, you won't be able to do fun things, your boss might fire you, or that guy will realize you don't actually listen to the music that he likes. So what's the point? Honestly, there really is not one. I cannot give you a good reason to lie. Psalm 15, verses 2-5 read, "Those who walk blamelessly and do what is right, and speak the truth from their heart, who do not slander with their tongue, and do no evil to their friends, nor heap shame upon their neighbors, in whose eyes the wicked are despised, but who honor those who fear the Lord, who stand by their oath even to their hurt, who do not lend money at interest, and do not take a bribe against the innocent. Those who do these things shall never be moved." This means those who tell the truth, are honest and true with themselves, and do the right thing, will have no harm. We get taught to never lie, and we still do. If we are taught to do the right thing, why don't we? If we will get punished less for the truth, why do we not preach honesty? Honestly, I need to work on telling the truth. I lie about stupid things, like if I stole my brother's candy and why my homework's late. But when the receiver finds out I lied, I am named untruthful or dishonest. If I were to have just said, "Yeah, Dylan, I did eat your candy," or "I just did not have time," then I would not have to carry the weight of that lie on my back. God and the Bible preach truth, so we should too. We shall learn from our mistakes of the past and continue on in a truthful world. The weight is taken off of my shoulders and left on the trail of my past. I am now moving forward in a world where I will preach truth, and you should too, because nothing good has come from lying. The good in the world comes from the truth that we have not shared in the past, but we will preach in the future. Thank you.
My name is Maria Ellery, and I'm an 8th grader at Solon Middle School. Today we light the candle of service because serving God is important. You can say that you believe in God, but doing a small, nice thing for someone can be an act of service. From Acts 20:35, it says, "In everything I did, I showed you that by this kind of hard work, we must help the weak, remembering the words the Lord Jesus himself said, 'It is more blessed to give than to receive.'" From the quote, you can understand how it is important to do an act of service, even if it is as simple as holding the door for someone or forgiving a seat for someone else on the bus. Service is an easy way to show faith to God, even in busy lives like yours, when you just might not feel like you have anything to do. Yeah.
Who is Jesus to me? When asked who is Jesus to me, I was prompted to choose a word that describes just that. Today, I have chosen to talk about responsibility and how I incorporate this meaningful word into my journey of faith. My name is Ellie Conrad, and I am a junior at Chagrin Falls High School. As the oldest member of the youth group, this word has a lot of meaning. For when most people think oldest, it means responsible. I have been coming to this church since I was born, and I've been coming to youth group since I was around 10 years old. First in the younger group, then to the middle school group, and finally to the high school one. There has been a lot of change involved in my years in youth group, especially from going one of the younger ones to the oldest. Having this new responsibility of being the oldest meant being a leader and doing everything I could to keep the future of this church engaged and present. As we all know, life is busy, especially for a high school student, so I really wanted to keep my leadership role while still balancing everything else. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6 states, "Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it." This scripture really stood out to me because I feel it relates to myself and my journey of faith. I have been coming to this church for 16 years now, and I have learned so much that I want to take with me throughout my entire life. Jesus to me is the feeling of being responsible, but not being overwhelmed because of his eternal love and understanding. While I continue to find out who Jesus is to me, I will forever hold the pillar of responsibility as a vital part of my journey. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cate, and I go to Kenston High School, and I'm a freshman, and I chose the candle of wisdom. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 2 says, "When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom." Have you ever raised your hand in class and been completely wrong, or been in a fight with a parent, or been completely wrong but kept fighting? Sometimes when pride comes, then comes disgrace. When God shows you disgrace, later he will have a plan for you. Sometimes when I'm in a difficult situation, I care about being right more than about being informed. I think God is playing games with me sometimes. After a fight with somebody I care deeply about, I hate on myself a little bit for getting so frustrated. I say the wrong things, or I don't say what I'm actually feeling because my brain isn't in the right state of mind. I forget I'm a 15-year-old girl who messes up, gets humiliated, cries, learns, and grows and becomes the best version of myself that God sees inside me. It's hard for me personally to think God always has a good plan for me. I'd start thinking again and remember God throws many curveballs at me, but it's because he knows that I know how to handle it. I've lived through much humiliation and lived through many situations where I didn't know if I was living, but God put me on this planet to share my humiliation, which turned into wisdom.
Hi, my name is Ryan Ellie, and I'm a 10th grader at Solon High School. My topic is reverence and respect. To me, respect is something that is deserved but not always earned. When I think of deserved respect, it always makes me think of teachers. While we may not always like the teachers or their policies, they deserve our respect and kind treatment. I believe it is important to treat everyone with respect, as it shows that we value each other and everyone's opinion. I also believe that Jesus deserves our respect, as he is a teacher we can trust. Jesus has earned my respect and my trust, as he is always listening and willing to hear all my problems. Even though I cannot see Jesus with my eyes, I can still feel him around me. I can see good deeds in the world, and it reminds me of his teachings all over the world. Not only does he teach us new things, such as how to respect others, he hasn't just deserved my respect, he has earned it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maggie Goss, and I'm a sophomore at Chagrin Falls High School. And my word today is faithfulness. Jesus is someone who always had faith, not just in himself, but in everyone else too. He knew that we would all sin and make mistakes, but we would do our very best to try to live the life that God had envisioned. Jesus always had faith in God and knew that this was the life we should all aspire to experience. Jesus had such a trust in God that he dedicated his whole life to sharing his faith. There were a lot of different religious beliefs when Jesus was alive, but Jesus continued to educate them about the one true God, his Father, because he saw the sliver of faith that was within each of them. In the Bible, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Me personally, I've had my struggles with faith in the past. It's a lot harder than people put it out to be. Faith is putting your life into God's hands, and I think I've been pretty reluctant to do so. I'm not the type of person to put all my eggs in one basket. I like to make sure I have backup options unless one fails. However, one person in my life that has expressed their faith on a daily basis is my dad. Whether or not he goes to a church service in person, I always wake up to the sound of the live stream coming from his room. My dad is the kindest person I know, and he was always looking out for his family. He is always helping out others, and he will take an extra minute out of his day if it means it gets to make someone's whole day. I see the way that he lives life and where his faith has gotten him so far. I aspire to be the type of person he is. Because of him, I realized I was ready to put my faith into God. And here I am, standing here and trying my very best to live the life that Jesus and God had envisioned. I started with only a sliver of faith, but Jesus knew that was all I needed, and he was right, because I am here today trying to be the best person I can be. I now stand before you trying to help everyone else's journey in faith, just like my dad did for me.
Hi, my name is Beckett Neal, and I go to Kenston Middle School. The candle I chose was purity. Purity is like nature and how untouched and beautiful it is. You see Jesus in the purity of nature and beautiful surroundings. Throughout my life, I have seen this when on hikes in the wild. One of those times when we were up on a trail called Franconia Ridge, you could see all around you. I saw all the land that was untouched and thought about the beauty in it. The verse I think resembles the purity of the wild is from the book of Psalm, chapter 24, verses 1 through 4. earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. For he founded it on the seas and established it on the waters. Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? The one who has clean hands and a pure heart, who does not trust in an idol or swear by a false god.
Finally, goodwill and friendship. In 6th grade, I moved to Chagrin. I barely knew anybody. Only the few girls from my soccer team in 3rd and 4th grade and a couple kids from preschool. I went in blind. I was scared. Let me rephrase. I was petrified. I was finally the new kid. I went to class, met a few people, but then lunch came, and that's where I met all of my friends. I immediately was welcomed into a friend group, and I felt so warm. I knew some of them from soccer, some preschool, and I had never met half of them. I was welcomed. About a month into school, I started getting closer to this girl named Maggie Goss. When we were younger, we did soccer and gymnastics together, and we went to preschool together, but I didn't remember that. One day we were in lunch, and she asked me to go to church choir with her, but I thought, I'm not religious. I can't sing. Who is Ellie, and who is Evelyn, and Sadie? Who are they? At the end of the day, we met up, and we walked with these 7th graders, Ellie Conrad and Evelyn Cravens. We walked to Starbucks, and that is where we met up with Ellie's sister, Sadie Conrad. At 4:15, we started walking to the church because the practice started at 4:30. We walk into the sanctuary where you all sit today, and Mrs. Spizak said, all guests are welcome. 4 years later, I'm still a part of youth group, and I'm still friends with all of the members of King Singers and past youth group members. And ever since, I've never laughed more in my life. I grew up in a non-religious home. We did not go to church, and we did not celebrate Christmas or Easter like Christians do. I knew pretty much nothing about the Bible, except it was long and filled with short stories that had a meaning behind each one. Pastor Nick and Jackie took me in as if they had known me my whole life. They taught me about the Bible and made me laugh like never before. King Singers and youth group had a wowing impact on me. Proverbs 18, verse 24 says, some friends play at friendship, but a true friend sticks closer than one sibling. Nothing has stuck with me more than my friendships I have made at church. I have made my truest friendships that I will have and cherish for the rest of my life. I've learned the struggles of others at the Poverty Simulator. I've learned the importance of helping others at the Nehemiah Mission of Cleveland or at the food bank. I've learned that the bestest of friends will not judge you. They will be there for you and will look out for you. True friends look to help you find the light in a dark day and the sunshine through the dark clouds. My real friends are here with me today. Cate, Maggie, Sadie, Grayson, Maria, Ryan, Beckett, Wilson, who's actually not here today, Ellie, and many more. I love you with my whole heart, and thank you for teaching me the true meaning of goodwill and friendship. I would have never found it if it weren't for God, this church, and the people. As my old summer camp, Camp Fitch, says, there are good ships and wood ships that sail in the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. Which is where the inspiration from this service came from. Thank you to Camp Fitch for also showing me God, and thank you for showing me the true meaning of goodwill and friendship. And now that all the candles have been lit, Jesus Christ is an ever-shining light and throughout this world. We see his truth, responsibility, service, wisdom, reverence, faithfulness, goodwill and friendship, and purity through our relationship with him and through our relationship with others. But because of the presence of sin in our world, we have all fallen short of these things. Throughout the season of Lent, we challenge you to dedicate time and attention to one of these areas. As you decide, we invite you to come forward and take a small candle, ignite it from the Christ candle, and light the candle associated with the message you feel you need to work on. We ask that when you are finished, you keep your candles burning and carefully walk back to your pew. When everyone has made their way back to their seat, we will engage together in prayer and will blow out our candles.